It looks like more aging buildings in New Haven are about to be torn down.
The city promised to take a closer look at older buildings after bricks started falling off one place this week. And now the Elm City says 3 more old buildings will face the wrecking ball. Those buildings are on Kimberly Avenue, Davenport Avenue, and Clifton Street. News 8's Jason Newton spoke to the city's building inspector tonight. He's live in New Haven with the latest. Jason?
Darren, it's just a pile of rubble back there behind that blue tarp now, but when that building went up, Andrew Jackson was finishing up his term as the President of the United States. The famous Amistad captives were brought right here to New Haven just a few years later. Now local historians and New Haven city officials are working to make sure that not one more piece of New Haven history is lost because of neglect.
This is one of 25 buildings that I've identified in downtown New Haven that predate 1840. So that's very minimal. That's 2 dozen.
Correction, this was one of 2 dozen buildings built before 1840 in downtown. Local New Haven historian and architect Colin Kaplan says his research indicates the remaining rubble at the corner of Chapel and Orange is from a building constructed in 1836.
When I was growing up, this was a full block of buildings all the way around. This was probably the densest block in New Haven. And now it's one of the least dense blocks in New Haven.
This block of Chapel has been decimated by misfortune. 8 years ago, a massive fire just up the street destroyed 2 historic buildings in just a few hours. Both of the long-standing structures were leveled with nothing to show for their history except what is today a parking lot. Then Sunday, this 180-year-old building was on its last leg before it too was leveled. City officials say neglect by owner was the culprit.
It's a way of taking care of a building so it falls apart, and then you have no excuse but to tear it down. And that is a common way of taking care of properties that you don't want to take care of anymore.
The city has stepped up enforcement. Inspectors have already flagged 3 buildings for demolition, 2 of them in the Hill neighborhood. Portions of this warehouse on Davenport showed imminent dangers and must be demolished within 2 days. And this structure on Kimberly must also come down. The owner has a month to take care of it. But as for the lost building downtown, it isn't clear when the last inspection actually took place.
There was a permit pulled in 2012. I don't know if it was ever inspected. I can't find any records of it.
Tercio has only been on the job since February, but he admits his crew is in the weeds.
We have 7 guys on the street. We could just do so much. This year alone, we've issued over 800 building permits.
And now city officials say that a task force will be set up by the end of September and that every commercial building and abandoned structure in the city of New Haven will be inspected. We're live tonight in New Haven. Jason Newton, News 8.